This is the season that many believed would not even happen. Yet here we are at the penultimate round of the second Formula Regional European Championship at yet another Formula One circuit. This is Imola, host venue of the Emilia-Romagna F1 Grand Prix, which took place here just 3 weeks ago. The Prema Power team have already wrapped up the team's championship, and one of their drivers will win the Drivers' Championship as well. It's just a question of who. Jean-Luc Petikov is on 306 points, just 4 ahead of Arthur Leclerc, whilst Oliver Rasmussen, after 2 race wins last time out in Barcelona, is right there in the title fight as well, just 15 points behind Leclerc on 287, as he aims to follow in the footsteps of his countryman Frederic Vesti, who won the inaugural series in 2019. Last time out in Spain, it was the Van Amersfoort racing team that dominated qualifying in much of the weekend, with Red Bull junior Dennis Hauger and Pierre-Louis Chauvet, who finally broke through for his maiden series win. Also making their series debuts here in Imola are Italian Nicola Marinangeli with KIC Motorsport and Guatemalan Ian Rodriguez with DR Formula. On today's program, we also check out the action from the Italian F4 Championship. So much for 2020 being a disastrous year. We have our biggest field yet, with 34 cars on the grid. Welcome to the world-famous Imola F1 circuit for the penultimate round of the FIA Formula Regional European Championship. It is one of the drivers' favourite circuits, and this is why. Right on board the 45 DR Formula car, driven by the Guatemalan Ian Rodriguez. That's a lap of the world-famous Imola F1 circuit from Ian Rodriguez's point of view. Was literally freezing overnight. 0 degrees on Saturday morning when we arrived at the circuit for qualifying, and only a couple more than that as the cars took to the track, but crucially the track was dry, just after rain interrupted practice on Friday. It was fascinating to see that despite the track being deceptively fast, low downforce setups simply did not work in the first session. Dennis Hauger, back with the Van Amersfoort team after his stunning debut in Spain, was the first to set a time which was soon beaten by Ian Rodriguez. He was an amazing second quickest in Wednesday's official test and then put the DRZ Benelli DR Formula team car in P1 in the first qualifying session. Hauger responded with a 139.353 before Oliver Rasmussen went 0.2 quicker to take pole from the Guatemalan Rodriguez. A fantastic performance on his series debut. Hauger was third from the next of the three championship contenders, Arthur Leclerc, then Barcelona race winner Chauvet, Pasma and Lapalainen, then the series leader Petikov, down in 8th. Into the pits for a new set of slicks, and with the cars and track now up to temperature, this time the low downforce setups started to work in Q2, which would set the grid for race 2. Rasmussen was again quickest early, however the Dane would then roll into pit lane with a gearbox issue. The Prema team worked frantically, sending car 6 back out, but he was back in a lap later, relegating the race 1 pole sitter to a back of the grid start for race 2. Rodriguez was again impressive, going P1 before Leclerc responded with a 138.605, a time that would not be beaten. Monza race winner Patrick Pasma came close, missing the top spot by just 1/10 of a second. But it was King Arthur fastest from the Finn Pasma, Chauvet a superb third from Rodriguez, Hauger and Petikov again struggling. He would start race 2 from the outside of the third row, just ahead of Lapalainen. Nicola Marinangeli, also on debut, showing well in the 7K IC Motorsport car. He will start the second race alongside his countryman Emilio Pesce, out-qualifying Chadwick, Henrion, and of course Rasmussen, who will have to start from the back. Grid for race 1, and this is the pole sitter Oliver Rasmussen, parked down in the garage with a gearbox issue. He will not make the start. Ian Rodriguez, car 45, effectively therefore inherits pole position. Rasmussen out before the start of the race. This is Dennis Hauger, the Red Bull Junior car 62. Travel Planet Van Amersfoort Racing back for another crack at the Formula Regional European Championship after his stunning debut in Spain. The Ferrari Junior Arthur Leclerc now out of grid 3. The KIC Motorsport team are ready, and we race. Good start by Rodriguez. Dennis down the inside. He's on the ripple strip though, Rodriguez. He's got Leclerc swarming over the back, Chauvet behind, and Dennis down the inside. But Ian with an awesome start on debut in the Formula 3 Regional Championship of Europe. Good start by Jamie Chadwick. She's got away smartly as Leclerc defends from Hauger. Rodriguez does lead on debut. This, I remind you, is his first ever Formula 3 race. He locks up down into Curva Tosa. As the field climb the hill, there is the series leader, Jean-Luc Petikov, back in the pack. So it's Rodriguez, Leclerc, Dennis Hauger, Chauvet, Chadwick. She's been hit by Pesce. Not once, but twice. Jamie turned around. Take a look at this. They race up the hill. She tries to block. Emilio dives down the inside. Oh, wow. Over the ripple strip. Not once, but twice for good measure. Jamie Chadwick is out. Emilio Pesce. Wow. Not the cleanest of moves. He's been given a 10-second drive-through penalty for that. Jamie Chadwick, she is effectively now out of the race as she limps back to pit lane. Meanwhile, Rodriguez leads. There is Leclerc in second. Dennis, then it's Chauvet, Konstapalainen. Patrick Pasma, you just got a glimpse of the series leader, Jean-Luc Petikov. So we take a look at the replay of the start. Great start by Dennis, side by side with Rodriguez. Ran out of road, Ian covered him off. Leclerc went to his right, trying to take the Guatemalan down into Tamborello. Didn't get by Ian, but did get the better of Dennis. And then this, at the top of the hill, bang! And Jamie Chadwick pulls into pit lane. Has not been the best season for the reigning W Series champion on the podium at the first round of the championship in Misano. But 2020, not only for everyone else, but for Jamie, it's been largely forgettable as well. Rodriguez, though, his first race in 13 months, his debut in Formula 3, he leads. Leclerc and Dennis Hauger. Arthur looks good here this morning in race 1. There's Dennis in third. They race down the hill into Aqua Minerales. So late under brakes is Arthur Leclerc. As we take a look at his teammate, Jean-Luc Petikov. Goes straight ahead through Tamborello. Through the gravel, rejoins down the field. Rodriguez. La Variante Alta at the top of the hill. Into Rivazza. Leclerc trying to gain in on the back of the race leader. Rivazza 2. Leclerc runs off the road. Keeps the right foot buried. Lucky to keep it off the wall. Dennis rounds him up. Around the outside goes Dennis Hauger. Leclerc immediately tries to make up for that slight error down the straight. 245 k's an hour. Down into Tamborello. Dennis is down the inside. Leclerc has to concede the position. Lucky to still be in the race. He's in third. Dennis second. Ian, awesome. Rodriguez continues to lead. Look at this. Leclerc, all four wheels in the gravel. Does not lift. Rejoins. He's still in third place. There is the race leader, Ian Rodriguez. What a debut. What a fairy tale story this is. He comes up to that checkered flag. Dennis will not catch him. Amazing, awesome. Ian Rodriguez, the IROD, wins on debut in the FIA Formula Regional European Championship. DR Formula, DRZ Benelli, their first win of the season. Following in the footsteps of Igor Fraga, who won 4 times in 2019, Rodriguez wins race 1. First time in its 7-year history, yes, the Italian F4 Championship will be won by an Italian driver. The question is, which one? Arriving at Imola, just 36 points separated the Sicilian, Gabriele Mini, and the Roman, Francesco Pizzi. A fantastic entry of 34 cars on the grid for the second to last round of the championship. So much for 2020 being a disaster. Mathematically, the championship was still between Gabriele Mini, Francesco Pizzi and Andrea Rosso. Realistically though, it was only between Mini and Pizzi, and even then, Pizzi would need a miracle to take the title. When Mini lined up on pole for race 1 and Pizzi back in 12th, already it was looking ominous. Mini led early before the safety car was brought out to clear the carnage left, when Bortoletto and Ogard ended in the gravel and Hans Sanyu was pushed into the wall. Mini then pulled away at the restart to take the first race of the weekend from Beganovic and Crawford to put one hand on the championship trophy. Race 2 of the weekend was hectic to say the least. Dino Beganovic led from pole position, but no less than 4 safety cars were introduced during the race as 10 cars retired, including Axel Noss. Hummed Alcobacy when she hit the wall hard. The Scotsman Dexter Patterson drove both himself and his teammate Ogard out of the race. But this frightening crash for Sebastian Montoya was what caused most concern. The Colombian-American locked up trying to both avoid and pass Joshua Dirksen, but simply found the wall at Tamburello instead. Fortunately, Sebastian was okay, and incredibly, his car was repaired for race 3 as well. Dynamite Dino taking his first ever win in the Italian F4 Series. Mini just needed to finish 7 points ahead of Pizzi in the final race of the weekend to win the title. And when he led from the start, it looked as though he would collect all 25 points as well. Halfway through the race, Crawford made a super pass on Mini going into Rivazza, the American then going on to take his second win in the series. Mini came home in second place, and with Pizzi back in P5, the Sicilian had overcome the Roman, becoming the first Italian driver ever to take the title. Emotional scenes in pit lane as he celebrated with his team, Prema taking the driver's title back from the 2019 champions Van Amersfoort Racing. So Mini wins. He is the 2020 Italian F4 champion, but there is still one race to go. No less than 47 drivers have competed in the 2020 series, and we may well see another record field at Vallelunga, as everyone already starts to look to 2021. Was 2020 a disastrous year? For Mini, it will be one he never forgets. Just a few days out from the European winter, and last night the temperature dropped to 2 below zero. There was ice on the circuit here at Imola. We are ready to race. Leclerc will start on pole position, car 14. To the right of your screen, here is the Ferrari Academy driver to line up on P1 alongside Patrick Pasma. Car 5 for the KIC Motorsport team. Twice a winner at Monza earlier on this season, of course. On board for the start with Ian Rodriguez, we race. He goes side by side with Pierre-Louis Chauvet. Pasma just ahead, but it is Arthur Leclerc who leads down into turn 1. Locks up. Does Ian Rodriguez, the front left on a stone cold circuit here this morning. Look at the ice and frost on the grass on the infield. Freezing cold here at Imola. As Leclerc with a perfect start leads up the hill. Pasma, Rodriguez. 1, 2, 3, there's Petikov starting to recover after a forgettable run in qualifying. The Travel Planet Van Amersfoort racing cars go through. They almost touch. Dennis on the grass. Lucky not to throw that into the wall. He does recover. Chauvet just ahead. So Leclerc leads the field out of the high chicane. And now he slows. Leclerc with a problem. Leclerc rolling to a stop. Oh, no. Leclerc is out. He's got a problem. We believe it is an electrical issue. Arthur Leclerc, no, he punches the steering wheel. What a tragedy for the 20-year-old from Monte Carlo. He was the series leader after race 1 yesterday. With that, Patrick Pasma has now assumed position 1. As Jamie runs off the road, he loses the place to Oliver Rasmussen. Gillian Henry on. Around the outside, Gillian and Jamie side by side. They race down the hill. Jamie on the inside just gently pushes Gillian offline. She's got track position and she holds the place. Gillian tries to fight back on Tamburello and he takes her. This battle, which has raged all season between Gillian Henryon and Jamie Chadwick, continues here this morning. So Consta goes through. Car 40 Rasmussen, there's Rodriguez, and then this battle. Also Nicola Marinangeli in car 7 on debut in the championship. Here's the Italian. Dennis Hauger dives down the inside into Tamburello. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, well, I'd suggest to you he gave him a little bit of space. Had it been a team member from Prema or KIC Motorsport, Pierre-Louis Chauvet might not have been quite so amicable. Dennis locks up, he takes the place. So Hauger in 4, Chauvet in 5. Petikov going through, he's in 3rd, Rodriguez position 2, and Patrick Pasma position 1. Just reminding you, Leclerc with a problem on the opening lap, retired from the lead. This is Rasmussen. Goes by Konsta Lapalainen, the Dane and the Finn, the battle of the Scandinavians here in Italy. Rasmussen, of course, getting 0 points from race 1 yesterday, needs every possible track position, every point to keep his championship hopes alive. This is his teammate Jean-Luc in car 10. He will take the series lead into race 3 this afternoon, but Patrick Pasma accelerates. He pulls away. He will take the checkered flag. Patrick Pasma wins for the KIC Motorsport team for the 3rd time in 2020. Rodriguez 2nd, again brilliant. Then it's Petikov home in 3rd, and with that, the series lead into the final race of the weekend here at Imola. Ready to race for the final time this weekend. Car 5, race 2 winner will start on pole position. Alongside Arthur Leclerc, whose older brother Charles joins his older brother Lorenzo, Le Frère Leclerc, the 3 Leclerc brothers here at the circuit. There is Arthur out of grid 2 after that DNF this morning, the green flag. And for the final time this weekend, we race. Pasma, smart start. Leclerc tries to dive down the inside. Pasma covers him off. There is Rodriguez. He tries to take Arthur as they go down into Tamburello. Pasma with a race lead from Leclerc. Rodriguez. There's Jamie. She's had a messy start at the back of the pack. Chauvet, good start from him as well. In the Travel Planet Van Amersfoort racing car, his teammate Dennis. Not so good for the Red Bull Junior, the Norwegian, trying to fight his way through on the opening lap of the race. They climb the hill. Marinangeli and Gillian Henry on. Gillian goes off the road. Lucky to keep it off the wall. And once again, this battle between Gillian and Jamie rages on. Rodriguez, what a revelation he has been this weekend. Pasma, Leclerc, and it's Ian. Pierre-Louis Chauvet, Jean-Luc Petikov. And there is Rasmussen, car 6 going through. We take a look at this replay of Marinangeli and Gillian Henry on. They did not touch. Marinangeli just nudged him off the line. Gillian nowhere to go. Henry joins as Rodriguez spins at the top of the hill. Well, that Guatemalan has had a memorable weekend. A podium, a victory, and a spin. He won't take victory in race 3 this afternoon. Speaking of debutants, Marinangeli. Wow, a big moment at the exit of Rivazza in car 7. So there's Chauvet going through. Car 10 is Petikov. Konsta Lapalainen, Dennis Hauger, Oliver Rasmussen. So the Finn from the Norwegian and the Dane, the Scandinavian battle continues. Emilio Pesce, car 41 for DR Formula, having a great run this morning. In Formula 4 last year, much less experienced than the drivers in front of him, but he's staying with them. A really good performance here this morning by the 20-year-old driver from Milan. That is Emilio Pesce going through in car 41 for DR Formula. Gillian Henry on down the hill. The engine has failed. He's spun on his own fluid. And Henry on in the gravel. A difficult weekend for the French driver at his first visit to this legendary Italian circuit. That brings out the safety car, and it will be a sprint to the checkered flag. Pasma at the green leads Leclerc. Chauvet, Petikov, Lapalainen, Hauger, and Rasmussen. As Rodriguez trying to recover at the back of the pack. as Leclerc has a look over the back of Patrick Pasma. There is no space down into Tamburello. PLC in car 3 going through in third place. Here to Petikov, Lappalainen. Still withstanding the pressure in position 5 in car 40. His teammate Patrick Pasma leads. Leclerc close to the back of Pasma as they go down into Tosa. There is Dennis in car 62. Oliver Rasmussen right behind. Lappalainen, they're starting to bunch up behind the Finn at La Variante Alta. This time he goes straight ahead. Off the road, and Lappalainen finally has to concede the place. Pesce goes by. Leclerc locks up on the dying stages of the race. Patrick Pasma has driven brilliantly. He won race 2. He wins race 3 this afternoon. His 4th victory of 2020. Leclerc home in 2nd and PLC in 3rd place for Van Amersfoort Racing. Coming into this penultimate round, there were just 4 points separating John Luca from Arthur. Now there are just 2. 337 points for Petikov, Leclerc on 335, and their teammate Rasmussen still certainly in contention on 303. Pasma, with 2 wins this weekend, moves into 4th place on 264 as we go down to the wire. The championship decider heads to the eternal city of Rome and the Vallelunga circuit, where we will crown the 2020 champion. We'll see you then.